swimming towards a vicious dream. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking fear and hatred, dull and jaded. It's all been debated and manipulated. Nothing's ever as it seems. We're bound to believe everything they scream. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. Highly sedated, intoxicated. We're automated and overpopulated. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, in our heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. We're the walking dead. We're the walking dead, dead. Oh, 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 oh. Highly sedated, intoxicated. We're automated and overpopulated. We're all fish in a stream, swimming towards a vicious dream. Don't you know we're the walking dead, dead, dead? Our lives were meant to be this bleak. Somehow they got into our heads, heads, heads. We're wide awake, yet still asleep. We're the walking dead.
Hi there. They call me the governor. And welcome to this State of the Dead stream. Now, if you're a first timer, like I just told Sharon was, you may be wondering what the heck this is about. So we're just going to talk about The Walking Dead, rumors we've heard about the spin-offs that are coming out, and next week we'll be back with trivia with Tomaj and the other reactors, where you can win prizes. I hesitate to say fabulous, but you can win prizes. And if it's your first time, welcome aboard. If you're a veteran, then welcome back. Let's just talk some TWD. And of course, this is also one of those AMA things. Ask me anything. And I do want to wish to everyone out there a happy New Year. And remember, you either kill or you die then you kill. Word to live by in every year. Welcome, Karina. And Sharon, I am the governor, or at least that's what they call me. And this is all about The Walking Dead, so there will be spoilers. Hi, Tiffany. It's glad to see you. And hi, Deborah. You'll have a chance next week, hopefully. So there'll be all kinds of questions and prizes. Well, we'll have to work out some of the prizes because we're still trying to do some of that. So we have decided to do the trivia, basically leading up to the premiere of Dead City, Isle of the Dead, formerly Isle of the Dead, now Dead City, with Maggie and Negan, basically in New York City. Grand Theft Auto, and Red Redemption, yeah. Happy New Year to you. The Red Dead people are pretty nice. I've met a few of them. So it seems that there have been a few hints dropped about Dead City. Not a ton. We still don't know exactly what's going on, why Maggie would leave Herschel behind. However, she did mention parenting was a part of it. So I'm wondering if maybe it's something where she needs to go to New York City to get something because Herschel's sick, Herschel needs something, and it's only there in Manhattan. So that's a possibility. Why Negan would be going? Well, if it's parenting, it might be his new child. Hopefully him and Annie have built up a nice little life for themselves somewhere. Probably not in the Commonwealth. Probably not anywhere where the new governor, Ezekiel, is. So that is some hint. So I don't know if it's something that people are really, have heard anything else beyond that. I do know that Negan is supposed to revert to some of his old ways. Sharon, Warcraft. I'm afraid I am not a Warcraft player. So I hear it's a good game. Though I did date a girl who was not happy with World of Warcraft because apparently her ex-husband was obsessed with it. But what can you do? But yeah, Negan is supposed to be going back to his old ways of doing things, and I don't know if it's a survival thing. I don't know if it's maybe he needs to put on that persona because he's dealing with new people and he needs to make sure that they respect him, and he figures, beating some people over the head with a baseball bat might do it. Tammy here. Oh, great. The cat and the puppet are both fine. The puppet's over there. The cat, she was here earlier. Yeah, it's It's a mystery why Maggie's going into New York, but she basically mentioned in an interview, Lauren Cohen, that just because they defeated one problem, one villain, the Commonwealth, doesn't mean that there aren't more on the horizon. So it has something to do with that, but again, I don't know, maybe Herschel is being held captive, and this group wants something that's in Manhattan and says, you better go get it, or Herschel's gonna, join his grandfather. So that could be part of it. Yeah, how are they going to avoid giving away about everything else in the universe since it will be years in the future? That's a good question. I'm not sure what the timeline's going to be. Obviously, they're really not going to have any contact with Daryl because Daryl's going to be in France, dealing with, the biters over there. Rick and Michonne. Now, apparently, some of the shooting is at least going to be done in New Jersey. Guess what? I'm in Woodbury, New Jersey now. So, who knows? Maybe I can get over there and say hi. Or maybe I can't. Probably not. But they're supposed to be shooting in just a couple of days. January 6th is their start date. And they anticipate that that's going to be coming out around Halloween. I imagine they're going to do it as close to Halloween as they can. But what their timeline is, whether or not it's going to be shortly thereafter or if it's going to overlap, if they're going to show some of Michonne's journey, that happened simultaneously with dealing with the Commonwealth and, all that wonderful stuff, then that's a good question. But apparently they will probably not make it back before Maggie leaves for wherever. Unless she says something about, I saw Rick and Michonne, they were, at a party, something like that. But it is going to be hard to keep that information separate. Tiffany thinks Annie's toast. Okay. Can't see Negan having a child, and it would soften him too much. He needs to keep an edge. It is possible that something violent happens to Annie, and that could be why Negan is out there and how he's reverting to his old ways. There's so much up in the air about this, but I will tell you this, there will be reactions on this channel from me, the governor, for that series, and Herschel will be joining me because it's his daughter. We'll also be doing compilations. Sharon, as far as Warcraft's concerned, I have nothing against the game. Tammy says that it's weird they didn't show Negan's baby in the end. Well, he was not around after the 1 year time jump. He was gone. So if he had the child, which, biologically speaking, if Annie had a successful pregnancy, would have been by then. But they didn't have Negan after the 1 year time jump. He kind of disappeared. So I think we're going to be surprised with what's going on there. Thanks for showing up, Sharon. Check out VCR Redux on Wednesdays. That might be more your style. Good health to you as well. Now, Philly Fry has a question for me. Have I met the governor in real life? I have met the actor who plays the governor, David Morrissey, several times. I've interviewed him several times. If you look on this channel, you will find some interviews that I've done with him. I've also moderated some panels that he's been on. There was a Wizard World virtual panel in which I moderated David and a number of other actors from The Walking Dead. And I also moderated his panel down at Fandemic Dead, which Fandemic Dead has been acquired by the same people who put on Atlanta ComicCon and FanX Salt Lake City, so they may have some Walking Dead guests in Atlanta, but it's not going to be a Fandemic Dead. But yes, I met David several times. I call him my brother from another mother. He calls me his doppelganger. I've also addressed as his character from Doctor Who. So, yes. But any other questions, please feel free to ask. You may have also noticed that we put out the Governor Reflects episode 1. Episodes 2, 3, and 4 will be coming out. I'm going to put them out each Thursday because I put the first one out on a Thursday. So I want to space it out. Those have already been done. I am going to be shooting 5 and 6 within that period of time, so they'll be ready as well. Yeah, Philly says he left with Maggie to, I think it mean, New York City for some reason without Annie and the babe. What it looks like, according to the pictures that I've seen, Maggie has a knife up to Negan's throat. So I'm thinking it's quite possible that Negan offered to go with her and she turned him down and then he followed anyway. Or he's going for his own reasons and then she encounters him and she's inclined to, remember her eye-popping experience with Glenn. So that is a possibility. I'm not sure how they end up together, but they will be working together. Apparently they're going to be zip-lining from building to building. That should be fun. Now, the Daryl Dixon series, which is supposedly also, I believe, in production, that is going to be far removed from any of our former Walking Dead people. So he's pretty much going to be on his own, all new characters that he's going to encounter, and all new situations. I'm not sure. I haven't really heard anything about that. He wakes up not knowing how he got there, and he's in friggin' France. I mean, what the hell kind of a bender is that? So, that I have no information on. I've been looking. The Rick and Michonne series, as I said, it's supposed to go into production soon. And it would make sense that some of the scenes would actually be shot in New Jersey, not far from Philly, because he was across the river from Philadelphia in that final scene in the final episode. So it's likely that there'll be some New Jersey footage. But there are some thoughts that it may only be a 6-issue limited run and that's it. Kind of replacing the movies. But I don't know if 6 episodes is going to be enough for the story of Michonne finally finding Rick, getting together and dealing with CRM, Tomage's favorite organization. If Rosita can jump onto a pipe, see no reason why Maggie and Negan can't zipline. I actually think ziplining is probably a little more realistic than Rosita's amazing jump. Damn, it says, you know you are the best when I come back to see you after a series is over. I hardly ever do that. I think it's strange. Carol would just hang out in a normalish town. I think she would get bored. Well, there is Tales of the Walking Dead, which has gotten bashed a lot. Now, I've only seen like 3 of the episodes. I need to go back and finish watching. I don't know if I should bother doing reactions to them. But Tales of the Walking Dead is supposed to potentially have some other characters in it. So maybe we'll catch up and see Carol getting bored and her going and doing something else. Or maybe we'll see Jerry's kingdom appear and Carol going to help out with that. I'd love to see Jerry go back to that Ren Fair and turn that into a kingdom outpost. But yeah, Carol, I don't know. I guess Melissa McBride decided she did not want to go to France for a long period of time. So that's why she declined to stay with the series. It was supposed to be both of them, but it just, did not, she was not willing. That's why I don't know if they had to do some reshoots or just quick rewriting so that Carol would stay behind. But it does seem odd. But then again, she deserves some peace after all she's been through. Just don't make her a preschool teacher or, have her in charge of kids. Now, the episodes, as far as how long they'll be, Phil is asking. With the Rick spinoff, I can't imagine they'd be more than the normal size of episodes. They might have a slightly longer premiere and maybe a slightly longer finale, but I imagine that they're going to be like 45, 42 minutes, whatever the standard time is. AMC is weird on their timing for episodes because they quite often make longer episodes. So I don't imagine that the middle ones will be any longer than a normal hour broadcast, but the first and the last might be a little bit longer. Should be interesting, though. Tiffany says the France thing is just stupid. It makes absolutely no sense. Well, I don't know how they're working it, though. It might be stupid, but for them to have Daryl and bring him to France, it could be something. I don't know why they would bring him to France. Why him, of all the people that they could have chosen in the U.S., It's kind of strange. But, yeah, that is, I'm going to reserve my judgment on whether or not it's stupid or not. I mean, at the end, and I have not seen The World Beyond Season 2. Season 1 was enough. I do hear Season 2 was better, so I may check it out at some point in my copious amounts of spare time that I don't have. But then I'll definitely have to see, because at the end of that, I understand that they showed a scene in France and they showed some biters who were acting mighty peculiar. So it could be interesting to see why Daryl was brought there and what these new biters are up to. But yeah, at this point, from our perspective, him being in France makes no sense. But we don't know what the storyline is, so hopefully they come up with an explanation that isn't totally stupid. He says, I know to explain how the iconic Dead Inside Don't Open Door happened. What explained that? Was there a short that I recently saw that there was somebody posted there was a short that showed that a doctor stayed and took care of Rick, which is how he survived while he was still in a coma and died shortly before he actually awakened. I have to check out that short because that would make more sense than him just, surviving. But yeah, if that's in the short, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, from what I understand, these spin-offs are only 6 episodes each. But Robert Kirkman I don't think he has anything to do with it anymore. Oh, Tales of the Walking Dead. I mean, it'd be interesting if they went back to him and, offered to have him write some episodes. That would be interesting. But I don't necessarily think that he is going to be back. Oh, sorry. Don't know what to do with my big knife. So, Ace's Man says that Walker at the end of World Beyond looked way more dangerous than any of the variants. Yeah, I've not seen it, but I need to, so I'll need to check it out one of these days. But yeah, from what I understood, that beta was quite impressive. So it'll be interesting to see Daryl have to go up against more dangerous spiders and how that works out. Tiffany, yeah. I think that's why they chose France, but getting Daryl there is a stupid part. Nobody's got fuel to cross an ocean that far into the apocalypse. Yeah, I agree. It does seem very odd. I mean, why Daryl? I mean, for all the fact that I'm not that fond of Daryl, especially since he messed up my entertainment in Woodbury. He's a capable fighter. He's a experienced woodsman. He's good at surviving on his own. And he did move into more of a leadership role after Rick passed on to the great CRM. So, but beyond that, I mean, you look at him and you're thinking, my God, does this guy have a shower? Why they would choose... Well, then again, in France... No, that's a joke. I know people in France shower, but Daryl apparently doesn't. And, yeah, maybe they found him by smell and decided to bring him over, but it doesn't... I don't see a reason, so they really need to justify that. It's possible that the spin-offs will get more episodes after, depending on how they do. Yeah, I agree. If they're doing 6 episode seasons, the very first season of Walking Dead was only 6 episodes because they wanted to see how that would do, and it was so popular, and then they came out with a 16 episode season after that. But also you got to understand that Denai might not be able to commit to more than 6 at a time. The other actors, well, I'm sure they have other things that they want to work on, so I would be okay with 6 episode seasons if they did more than one season. You know, that's kind of the British way, and, you know, half the Walking Dead actors are British anyway, so why not? Though the thing is, with Fear is going to have 16 episodes, I guess. I mean, I fell off the Fear wagon at the beginning of Season 7, because Season 6 was awesome. Season 7 was just irritating. So, yeah, I fell off the wagon there. I don't know that I'm going to ever go back to Fear the Walking Dead. But if we're talking 16 episodes of Fear and 18 of the spin-offs, you know, that is a good 34 weeks of content. So that might be what they're aiming for, is to have these 3 series. And plus, if they throw in another season of Tales of the Walking Dead, maybe 8 episodes, that could be up to like 42. So they could have a lot of content for Walking Dead. AMC wants to make as much money as they can from The Walking Dead. They've purchased a license. They built up this universe. They want to make tons of money. And so these spin-off series, and I'm sure they're going to try to license more video games and stuff like that. Whatever AMC can do to make money, off of the Walking Dead property. They are going to do. So if there's a great deal of positive reception to these spin-offs, they will probably make more seasons. They might even make an eventual spin-off showing what happened in the Commonwealth, or a story where some of the other characters that we left behind, kind of go off on their own and have some kind of mission, or maybe a movie. That would be interesting. But I'm sure they want to see how it does. The main show, let's face it, it was getting too clunky with the number of characters. We had a ton of characters, and then they introduced the Commonwealth, and now we have people like Mercer, who are great characters that we'd want to learn about, and Princess, who they found on the way there. And all these new characters, they don't have enough time in a regular show to effectively showcase them. It's too large of a cast. So the spin-offs are a good idea. But whether we're going to revisit some of the people who were left behind and not initially in the spin-offs, I think that could happen. But again, they want to make the money. So I don't blame them. Thank you very much. Is that Voss? Am I saying that right? Glad you like the stream. Daryl sells a lot of merch. Yeah. Excuse me. Slight bit of COVID. I actually have a Daryl Mug. I think I told the story before in a stream, but I was at a ComicCon, and Hacksaw Jack, who was the main cosplay person, was running the cosplay contest. And I think I won second prize. I think I was tied with someone who did a really good job on a biter outfit. And I said, give it to them, because the prize was VIP tickets to the next Walker Stalker, and I get press passes. So I didn't need to worry about getting a pass. So they gave me, Hacksaw Jack gave me 2 prizes. One was a big Daryl mug, and the other was a nice, very beautiful picture of Michonne. Really? Does he know who I am? Daryl Mug? I mean, give me a break. And a picture of Michonne? Yeah. What am I going to do? Put on my dot board? Come on. But yeah, Daryl sells a lot of merch. He's a very popular character. People don't want to see him go away. So, and I'm sure he likes the paychecks. I mean, Ride with Norman Reedus only pays so much, I'm sure. Tammy says, I love the idea of Jerry's Renfest, but take Ezekiel's petting zoo with them too. I don't think that Carol should have the kids based on the series history of her and kids. I agree. Carol definitely would not be my first choice of babysitters. But, yeah, I think Jerry going back to the Ren Fair and making that do the Kingdom would be great. I don't think Ezekiel's running the petting zoo anymore. Someone else has to take that over because he's governor. And I understand that Kerry Payton was not pleased that his character ended up with the title governor. I wonder what he has against the title governor. Not a happy thing. But, yeah, I'd love to see Jerry, even if it's just a little scene where they stop by Jerry's little Ren Fair Kingdom. That'd be awesome. In Pennsylvania, they have a Ren Fair, and it's quite extensive. And I think that if there was an apocalypse, that would not be a horrible place to possibly hole up. Though, then again, there's a lot of woods around. Might be difficult to keep out all the biters. Virgil. What about Virgil? I'm not sure what you're saying, Tiffany. Virgil, he kind of disappeared. He was like, showed up. He helped Connie out. He was there when the storm came, but we haven't really seen him since the Commonwealth knocked on the door. So I wonder what became of him, if he just decided he didn't want to have anything to do with the Commonwealth and went back home. Or, yeah, he would be a good subject for Tales of the Walking Dead. Deborah says, I can even admit that Fierce 7 wasn't great, but he loves Strand. Strand's a great character. Morgan and Dwight. So I'll keep watching. Dead in the Water was great, though. Yeah, I would have to... I haven't seen Dead in the Water. I imagine that's part of Fear. And they brought back Madison, from what I understand. So that should be interesting. I don't know what happened to Elijah. Don't tell me. I might go back and look. But yeah, a few episodes into Fear, and I was just like, with all the, radiation and, craziness that happened after that was just like, and then, Alicia putting together some group. I have no idea what resolved there, but it was just kind of, just even the orange on the screen was just too monochrome. The irony of Dead in the Water. Yeah, Tiffany, exactly. There were too many characters. Virgil was a new one that they introduced, and he was coming back. And how do you service him effectively? That's why Tom Paine left the series. He felt he should have he had a lot of martial arts training while he was there. He was a great character. But he was like, if you're not going to use me, kill me off so I can do other stuff. And that's what they did, because there was not enough of story time for them to concentrate and give the proper attention to all the characters that should have had that attention. I'd love to see maybe a Tales of the Walking Dead that goes back and maybe follows around Jesus before he met Rick and them, as he's, being more of a badass. And, he had some really good martial arts skills. Of course, he didn't expect a biter to, dodge and stab him, because it wasn't a biter. So it was a good ending for him. A startling ending, and it's what he wanted. But yeah, there's just so many characters. And yeah, John Dory's death, that was a hard one. When John died, especially that little pissant killed him, that was just, and him crawling out of the water as a biter. John Dory was one of my favorite characters. I have a replica that's similar to his gun over there that I used to break out for my Fear reactions. But he's gone. Fear, I'm not sure how many characters are left. They were starting to explode into far too many characters as well. So maybe they've trimmed down a little bit, but I really wish they hadn't trimmed out John. Deborah misses John too. Yeah. The thing is, when I saw John, I actually remembered him from the Sarah Connor Chronicles. He was a Terminator, which was very cool, but he was a much different character in Fear. And I really liked him, even if some of the trick shots were a little bit weird, with Dwight holding up the axe, him splitting the bullet to kill two biters at once. That seemed a little far-fetched, but then again, it's John Dory. So with the trivia, I got a question for you guys. What kind of prizes do you want to see for the trivia? I mean, I've given out a couple of my cosplay books. Actually, I have one packed ready to go. I got to the post office to send it out today, and they were closed. So I guess they were observing New Year's Day today. So I'll have to get that out tomorrow. And the other one, I haven't even heard from Henry, who won the other one. So I have to yell at him if he shows up for trivia next week. But what kind of prizes do you think would be appropriate? I mean, I don't really have connections to get autographs from a lot of the people who were on the show, so that's not really an option. Could maybe get Jason Douglas to send me a couple, but, love Tobin. But I think most people would be like, oh, yeah, that's nice. Because he wasn't a huge part of the series. He was a good character, though. But, yeah, there's a lot of characters and you kind of forget about as time goes by because they weren't like the main characters. But Heath, where the fuck is Heath? Has anyone seen Heath anywhere? I heard that he was supposedly picked up by the CRM, but has anyone got confirmation of that? Has anyone seen him in anything? That is the question. But yeah, so over the next year, what you will be seeing from Fandom Spotlight and myself, who you call the governor, you will be seeing the Governor Reflects, and I will be going from 1 all the way up to, I think, at least partway through season 8, because I think my initial Governor Reacts videos were more reviews. So I'll do proper reactions all the way up. You'll also see reactions to the spin-offs. You'll also see compilations. Now, I love Johnny Odell, great guy, but his channels keep getting demonetized. So luckily, my channel, Fandom Spotlight, doesn't have primarily reaction compilations. So I think we'll avoid the trap that he fell into. Let's see here. I could just put up the Daryl Dixon cup. Well, it's a huge glass mug. I actually like it for the fact that I can fill it up with a lot of liquid and I don't have to get refills so much. I also have a Don't Be a Porch Stick mug. Does anyone remember Porch Stick Pete? He's a very nice guy. I met Corey, I think Walker Stalker, Boston, where I almost got kicked out for cosplaying him too well, and they thought I was drunk. And yeah, I have a Don't Be a Porch Stick mug, so yeah, I always got to think of him when I drink of that. TWD sticker sets. Deborah, would you ever saw me to get those? Could almost get like TWD reactor sticker sets. That would be interesting. Get all the reactors to send in cool pictures of themselves, and then you can have a Mr. Underdog sticker. The Underdog Mr. Williams sticker. Or a magnet put on your fridge. He could be looking at you with those eyes. That would be interesting. Yeah, I'm debating. There's only so many of my books. I mean, I have enough books in stock of my cosplay book that could be the prize for quite some time, but I think people are going to get sick of that prize. So I think we need to come up with some other things. I'll be talking to Tomaj, and we'll see what we can do there. Yeah, Etsy and Amazon. I mean, I reached out to the Walking Dead shop in Woodbury, and they did not reply, because I was going to say, if you want to, throw some gift cards our way to give away, that would be advertising for you guys. But it was one of those PPP cards in the 5th episode of Tales, but it doesn't give much of an answer in regards to Heath's whereabouts. Yeah. Poor Heath. Well, he moved on to other projects. The actor did, so he's not feeling that left out. But yeah, he just kind of disappeared. But actually, even if we never hear about what happened to Heath, that's life. How many people have you encountered and met once, met a couple times, hung out with a bit, and then they just disappear from your life and you don't know what's happened to them? Unless you hunt them down on social media, and in some cases they might not be that easy to find. So that's definitely life in the 80s. You could give away a guest spot on the next live stream. It would be free. That is true, Tiffany. So a guest spot to come onto the trivia live stream so you can play trivia again and still not get a prize. That's an idea, though. I wonder who would volunteer for that if I was just looking for volunteers. Someone who maybe works for Fandom Spotlite? But yeah, that could be one of the prizes. What do you people think about that? Would that be a worthy prize to actually come on the live stream and be broadcast in front of hundreds of people? Let me know if that's something that you'd like to do. So we do have some stuff planned over the following years, but it really, again, depends a lot on what's going to happen with these spin-offs. I'll be reacting to them, obviously, and we'll be, the compilations, I'll be doing them for that. I think I'm also going to be doing compilations for The Last of Us, if you're into that. So the compilations have done really well, and I enjoy them. I enjoy seeing different reactors and how they reacted to a scene. And some people scream really loud. And some people use words that get my reaction compilation limited to no ads. So so this is your time as well. Do you guys have any questions for me as far as Phantom Spotlight, as far as Governor Reacts, as far as cosplay? You can ask me whatever you like, and I will answer as honestly as I can. And I can even tell you why I don't really like Maggie. Sorry, Herschel. But that's a story. I don't know if I should share that. I had a counter with Lauren Cohen that was just underwhelming. Let's just say that. And it was in London, of all places. Well, we've been at this for almost 45 minutes. I appreciate you guys coming out. If you have questions, this is the time. 15 minutes for questions. If you are, I can tell you where I will be con-wise this year if you're interested. And if you happen to be going to that con, you can track me down. I will be, my first con is actually not till February. I will be at Farpoint Con in Hunt Valley, Maryland. I do not have confirmation yet. I may be at Atlanta ComicCon later on in February. Then in March, probably New Jersey Horror Con. And end of March, I'll be at Steel City Con, where they actually have listed guests such as Carrie Payton. He will be there, as will Ross Marquand. Ross is always fun. Now let's see, I think they also have Jenna Elfman from Fear is going to be there. So there's nothing set, but I may actually be the moderator. Tiffany asked if I could be any character other than the governor. Who would it be? Well, first let me say that I have cosplayed Negan. I have cosplayed kind of Rick. And I've cosplayed Porchstick Pete. But if I could have the body of Mercer, I would definitely do a white version of Mercer. Obviously, I would not be applying any pigment to my skin, but I'd be like Mercer's, white cousin. Mercer's a fun character. I mean, I always love Ezekiel. Probably not Father Gabe. I'm trying to think who else. Beta would be a fun person to cosplay. But as far as being a character, that's a real good question. As far as actually transporting into that universe and being somebody, I don't know, maybe Eugene. I've actually played Eugene at a Waka Stalker. They did a script read, and I played the part of Eugene. And they had some of other actors playing various parts. So this guy was playing Rick. The guy who played, I think his name is Josh, who we really didn't like as a savior. He played the part of Jesus. And what's funny is I was in character as Eugene, so when I was my turn to walk up to the mic, I walked up in a very Eugene fashion, very stiff. And the actor who played Rick was like, "Are you okay?" I guess I convinced him, and then I read my lines in a very Eugene voice. And I got some compliments later on. Ace Man said, considering how close I was to Andrea, how do I feel about seeing her as a biter in the commercials they played during the finale? I watched those commercials later on. They were pretty hilarious. And I have to say, the Ryan Reynolds jokes was kind of hilarious. But she does look like she's part of corporate America. She's basically the head of a corporation that probably screws people. And I can attest that she's good at screwing people. So I thought it was hilarious. And I love those commercials. Gareth, I thought, should have let those neighbors in and just ate them. But that's just my thought. He had no problem meeting people when he was human. Why would he have any hesitation now that he's a biter? Well, folks, this has been fun. And keep an eye out. This Thursday will be episode 2 of the first season, the reaction to that. Wednesday night will be VCR Redux, and they are doing, they're talking about how they would make a modern day sequel to Face Off, which, especially with Nicolas Cage. And that would be a fun one. I don't know if Travolta would be into it. And we will be doing reactions to all the spin-offs next week on Monday night. There will be trivia, and it will be a lot of fun. We'll have more questions, and we'll figure out some kind of prize. Maybe I'll follow Tiffany's suggestion, and the winner will be on in 2 weeks from then, able to be one of the actual people on screen and yell at us directly instead of through text. All right, folks, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for spending the time. We will see you in 1 week for trivia. And remember, this is not about Warcraft. Sorry, Sharon, though she's long gone. But this has been fun. Everybody, it's been great. Herschel, say goodbye. And we will definitely see you next week. Governor, out.
Highly sedated, intoxicated. We're automated and overpopulated. We're all fish in a stream, swimming towards a vicious dream.